Today on Learn Me Something
Underground Sports
versus
Paul is dead. Hey, Josiah.
Hey, I brought you a soda,
Yeah,
vanilla cream. I texted you, pick a flavor.
it's delicious.
It is very good, except we just took a couple sips before we started,
We messed up.
and I'm feeling a little burpy right now.
Me too.
So I'm probably just gonna hold it.
I don't think I can help myself. I will keep drinking it.
Okay.
But I refuse to let us be the burps a lot cast.
I will not.
That's not happening.
No.
Pretty good though. They're gourmet. What are they called again? Just cream sodas?
Vanilla wine.
Vanilla wine.
Henry
It's not-
wine. Henry wine hard.
Mm.
That was a fun sound.
I tried to
Anyway.
make it audible since we're doing an audible
Oh.
cast
Yeah.
and a video. Welcome to our video listeners.
I'll just kind of put that right there and not drink from it till I'm done.
Josiah, why don't you tell our new friends that are probably listening what this podcast is?
Okay, so this is called Learn Me Something. It's a competitive teaching podcast where we each teach each other a topic, and we have the listeners decide who wins and who loses. And I lost last time.
Oh, yeah.
So the punishment that I had to do for losing was that I had to take a practice SAT test. So I didn't actually go in and schedule a time and take it with a bunch of high schoolers, which would have been fun. I didn't think about it, but I just took the online test.
I laughed out loud before you continue. I laughed out loud probably 2 or 3 different times throughout the week just thinking about this punishment. You sitting at your desk just what is, trying to figure out some chemistry question.
Well, so it's basically reading and grammar and math.
Oh, so no science.
No,
Okay. Is that the ACT maybe?
I don't remember.
Or maybe that's like a state testing.
Maybe yeah, I don't know. I don't know, but I did it today, and it probably took me about 2.5 hours.
Holy cow.
I did, and I took some breaks between, so it kind of spread it out. The test time was probably about 2.5 hours.
Did you do it in standard PSAT format where you remember you would finish early,
Oh,
but
and you
then they
have
were
to
like, we
sit
do
and wait
not
for it?
finish the test early, but you weren't allowed to have anything, so you just sit there for 25 minutes.
Yeah, I just sat in silence and just looked around.
Good.
No, I just did it. I went all the way through. And
How do you think you did?
I think I did okay, better than I thought I would do. I was more confident on a lot of the questions. The reading ones were, I think I did a decent job on the first half.
Okay.
The word-based part. The math, I struggled, but it was really fun because there was I had a couple breakthrough moments where I was like,
Oh, I'm so glad.
light bulb moments where I remember this math.
Let
and
us math together.
my inner mathlete was crawling out, and
Because you were a mathlete.
yeah, we don't talk about that much, but I was.
We both did the mathlete competition, and you did. I forget how it works. You made state mathlete.
I was a state mathlete.
I came in 40th or something.
I remember that moment. I had to leave early, so it was the county-wide math competition. Oh,
We were so
those
cool.
were the days, and I had to leave early. But I remember you and the rest of our school team called me, and they're like, "You got 7th or 5th or whatever. You're going to state." I was like, "Oh no!"
You're going to state.
And I think I remember you laughing in the background or something, and I was like, "Dad, can I not go?" And he's like, "No, you're gonna go." Oh, okay. So
We should have known right then that we would have an educational podcast someday.
yeah.
It was written in the stars.
I got completely demolished at state. But anyway, the math part was really hard. But remembering SOHCAHTOA and FOIL, do you remember that? Where first, outer, inner, last.
For parentheses.
Yeah, expanding a algebra equation. That came to me like a flood.
Uh-huh.
Felt good.
You
And,
unlocked a portion of your memory?
Yeah, I did.
That would be I'm not going to say anything else because that would ruin it.
Don't ruin your new topic ideas. So if you want to know how I did, you can check out our social media.
Yeah, we don't have the official scores yet. We're waiting back from the government.
I sent him in, and with a small fee of it was like $200 or something.
Something like that.
Some it's reasonable if somebody's gonna sit down and grade my test.
Yeah.
Somebody named Scantron. Then
exactly.
There's a cool name, by the way. I was like,
It's a
"You're
cool
Scantron. This is your job.
I am.
You deserve the
Scantron.
wages."
What if you start getting scholarships? Would you go to a college if they were like based off of your PSAT that you took as a 24-year-old?
Can you imagine? Maybe if I got
Okay.
if somebody paid for me to go to college just online,
Uh-huh.
and I could just take it slow and they would pay the whole way,
Yeah.
I
You'd be
probably
tempted.
would. I probably would
What would you go for? If they said just come here, pick what you want to do.
pick a major.
Yep.
I don't know. I like sciences, but I'm really bad at them.
Okay.
Just from school.
So maybe not a scientist.
I loved the idea of physics,
You love that it exists.
but it was my worst grade in high school.
What about like an architect?
No.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
heard horror stories.
Yeah, forget architecture.
That's
the worst.
Everybody I know that like went to architecture school does not do architecture.
Interesting.
They've all switched. Like, I hate this.
Okay. Well, that's a question for you to ponder.
Okay.
Maybe if you think of it later in the episode, just blurt it out.
Okay. And if somebody's listening that wants to give me a scholarship to go back to school, maybe. Yeah, we'll see.
Oh man, I really liked this punishment, and I really liked not doing it.
It was so horrible.
I was not-
hated it. There's moments where I was in the zone and not even thinking about the fact that, like, I was like, oh yeah, this is what you do. I'm taking the
Taking a
test.
test, taking a
This is
test.
what I'm doing. And then I was like, wait, I don't have to do this.
Yeah, and it's also, I feel like it's just draining on your brain more than anything.
It's tiring, which I did take breaks, which I don't know if it was part of the rules, but I did that.
We
I
can,
made some lunch.
yeah, we can call that. Well, in true PSAT fashion, you'd have to just like lay your head in your arms and pretend like you're sleeping for half an hour.
Right. Or just look around or play with your pencil.
Yeah, but I guess making lunch is fine.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we got through the intro. That was a good one.
The long one.
Have some bubbly sodas.
Yeah.
Talk to mathletes. So every episode we come to the table with topics, as Josiah said, and since I won last episode and win in general,
since I win,
Since I'm
it's
a
what I
winner.
do. It's a personality trait.
I get to choose who goes first. I think if I remember, I went first last episode. I think I wanted to do that.
Okay.
So, oh yeah, because I talked about accents. Yeah,
Yeah.
I went first. Okay, so I'm gonna have you go first this time.
Okay. So today I'm going to be talking about what I'm calling underground sports. We're jumping right into it.
Perfect.
So these are sports that you may not have heard of, but they are popular somewhere in the world. And we're gonna get into them, and there's some fun ones. Japan's got some great ones.
Classic.
So
I'm ready.
start off. Sepak Takraw.
Okay.
Sepak Takraw.
Good start.
You ever heard of this?
It's just like Sokotoa.
Yeah. So if you pack, it's like a mnemonic device to help you remember when you are going camping with your tent. You pack it,
Uh-huh.
and then you tack it onto your backpack,
Okay.
and
Pack,
then you
tack.
put all of your raw meat in the fire to roast and eat.
Pack, tack,
It's like
raw.
a camping thing.
Perfect.
Sepak Takraw, also called kick volleyball. You may have seen a clip of this, but basically it's volleyball, but you can't use your arms and hands.
That sounds like fun.
It's very fun to watch. So it originated in Malaysia in the 15th century, and it
Nice.
was it's popular today in all around that area, East Asia. And originally it was played by the royal court, so it was like a kind of an uppity game.
the Royal Sepak Takraw Court.
Yeah, and it was more of a show, like look at these tricks and things that I can do, kind of like a juggling.
Like Cirque du Soleil. Did I say that
Almost.
right?
Cirque du Soleil, I
But
believe.
of volleyball.
Soccer. Yeah. So it's a little like plastic or palm woven ball.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, it's probably, I don't know, 5 inches diameter.
Oh,
5 or 6
so
inches.
not
Pretty
huge.
small.
Wow.
You don't have a lot of room to work with. And so it started becoming more popular in the 1940s. And they added a net to the middle to make it more of a sport. And
Spice
added
it up.
some rules. And it's a formal sport now. And they have like international competitions over there.
Whoa.
And it's pretty cool. So basically, the rules are there's 3 players on each team. And like I said, it's basically volleyball, but you can't use your hands or arms. But
That seems like a lot of fun to try.
yeah, and the net is about eye level, so it's probably like 5-6 feet.
So shorter than the volleyball net.
Yeah, so you can look like over the net, and one person can take all 3 hits. So I could hit it 3 times on my side.
Oh, nice. So there's no bumps at spike necessarily.
You can bump and set yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good for them.
Good for them. Yeah, you go for that. You go for it. You can do that. So basically, yeah, that's it. You have to serve it starting with 1 foot on the ground.
Uh-huh.
So you can't jump kick to serve it.
Okay.
So here are
but
some...
you can jump kick after the serve?
Yep.
Okay.
But here are some unique skills that are needed.
Perfect.
And this is going to be a category for all the sports.
I'm pretty sure that I've got all these already, I bet.
Number 1, flexibility.
Nope, I'm out.
Because if you're going to do that, you basically have to do a what would you call it? 6 o'clock split. A
to be
standing
able to
split.
kick high.
Yeah, kick high enough to get it enough of an
Whoa.
angle.
Good for them.
You also need to be able to land on your back well,
Uh-huh.
because they jump right next to the net, kick it over, like spike it over with their foot, and then you can either fall on your back and hands
Uh-huh.
from a couple feet in the air, or almost like a bicycle kick, backflip spike.
I'm picturing the Fosbury flop without the padding.
Yes.
Like you go up and kick and then flop back on your back.
Kind of, but you can kind of land on your hands.
A little more
from
controlled.
what I saw.
Is this sand?
No,
It's
just
like
a
an actual court?
Yeah, it's like badminton-sized court. And
I bet it'd be a fun sand, like beach game.
yeah, I bet you wouldn't be able to jump as high. Well, no, you can't jump as high in sand, can you?
No, I don't think so. But probably we wouldn't be good enough to be jumping anyway. So it
No,
works
I
out.
would just kick it and it goes way out, or just smacks my teammate or something.
Yep.
But another unique skill is you need to be able to backflip,
Definitely still not capable of this game.
because of another category that I'm calling the cool factor.
I love it.
The cool factor of this sport is the roll spike. So this is where you jump off 1 foot, kick with that same foot,
Uh-huh.
and land again, all on the same foot.
Wait, okay, let me close my eyes and picture it. Jump off of one. Wait, it's Karate Kid.
Basically, but
is-
except your foot is above your head, and it's almost like a backside flip.
Foot is above head. That's
Basically,
crazy.
a one-footed backflip where you kick a ball at the top and spike it over the net. It's very cool.
That. We'll give it a 1 to 10. Cool factor. Compared, or should you wait till the end and rank each new one?
Let's just rank overall sport.
Okay.
What would you give that? Sapak Tak Ra.
Out of 10,
Yeah.
I think
10 small woven balls
10. Okay.
in this case.
Out of 10 small woven balls, I would give it. I'm gonna rank it based off of how cool I think it would play. It would be to play. I'm gonna give it a 9 because I like foot sports.
Okay, yeah.
And the concept sounds really fun. If I were to rank it based off of capability for me to play it, I would say 3, maybe 4.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
But depending on training.
I'll rank each sport on both of those.
Okay. How, if you think you could play it and how cool it is.
9 for cool, want to play it. 3 to 4 for can
Gotcha.
actually play it.
Love it. Okay.
Hit me. What's the next
This
one?
next sport, Underwater Torpedo League,
I can see it already.
also known as UTL. So this is an American sport
Who would have thought?
started by the Marine Special Forces Water Survival Instructors.
Also known as SHIELD. Wait, what
Just
would
about MSFWSI.
also known as
Musi.
MSWA?
So they have been playing it within the military for over 10 years.
That's cool.
And their goal is to actually get into the Olympics in 2028.
Okay.
So apparently there's a trial phase where you can like present it to the Olympics
Yeah.
and say we want this sport
Uh-huh.
and like have a trial, and they want to do that at this next Olympics,
Whoa.
2028. I don't know if it's going to happen though, because
You have to have a lot of other countries that also
Yeah.
play it.
yeah, so I think maybe they're a little ambitious, but that's good.
They should
I don't know
start
how
with
many
a
countries play
national
this.
league.
I think they do.
They have one?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Could you
We'll get
imagine
into it,
telling
but-
someone like, "Hey, what do you do for fun?" "Oh, I'm a torpedist." What do they call them?
A swimmer.
Oh,
A torpedo. Yeah, I don't know, torpedist.
A torpedist. It's fun. It's a fun enough word to say multiple times.
I guess. So the rules of this game are: it's the best of 3 matches.
Okay.
First to 5 points wins a match.
Uh huh.
The whole thing takes place underwater.
Okay.
Of course, you can go
Good,
up
good,
to
good,
the
good.
surface to get air.
Yep.
And you come right back down to play. The main little playing object is the torpedo,
Uh huh.
and you swim down to it's the deep end of a pool, so like 12-ish feet.
Okay.
There's little hockey goals that are just sitting at the bottom, and you want to
Nice.
get your torpedo into your opponent's goal.
Okay. That sounds fun.
And you must pass at least once before scoring. You can swim while holding it, or you can pass the torpedo.
Okay.
It kind of dives through the water nicely, so you can get your technique and your aim right.
Nice. It's like kind of underwater darts meets hockey.
Yeah, yeah.
Meets just swimming.
Meets wrestling, because you can grab it out of people's hand. You can wrestle them and hold them,
Whoa.
which is pretty scary considering you're 10 feet underwater.
Yeah, seriously. And it feels like everything just happens in slow motion.
Yeah, a little bit. And that's pretty much it. There's a couple penalties, such as you can't bring the torpedo to the surface.
Of
If you do,
course.
it's a penalty. If you goggle rip, that's a penalty.
Not okay.
Don't touch the goggle.
That's an immediate
If
discard.
you pull on clothing, penalty.
Oh, well, good to know they're wearing clothing.
They're wearing
more so
enough
than like a
cloth-
Speedo.
They're wearing enough clothing.
As much as is needed.
As much or as little as needed. Punching, penalty.
So you can wrestle, but no.
No
well,
punching.
How fast could a punch happen?
It's up to the refs.
Okay.
I read somewhere or heard somewhere that you have to have official refs be a part of it to make it an official.
Do they just
game.
like have scuba gear and they're just
No.
sitting down there? That'd be cool.
I think they're. I don't know about that. I think they hang out at the surface actually,
Oh, okay.
and maybe they've got like a snorkel or something.
Be way cooler if they had scuba gear. They were just sitting on the bottom or laying on the bottom.
Just blending in. They got like camo, pool camo.
They don't know there's a ref here.
It's just like kind of white teal. Where's the refs? Oh, they're here.
They're around. Don't look for them. You'll never find them.
That's where those bubbles are coming up. Fighting someone who doesn't have the torpedo,
Uh-huh.
it's a penalty.
Of course.
So you got to keep your eye on the torpedo when it's in somebody's hand, and right when they throw it, you got to let go of them.
Okay.
And that's about it.
I love it.
That's the whole sport.
That sounds like fun.
But the people that play it, like it was developed by Marines, and that's kind of the
Yeah.
people who play it.
So it's like intense.
It's intense. All these people that are playing it are just massive,
Yeah.
and so
It's not like a bunch of kids just hanging out in a local pool.
yeah,
It's like these trained men.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
massive guys. Yeah, and yeah. So the unique skills needed:
Uh-huh.
got to stay calm and hold your breath. Be able to hold your breath for a long time underwater.
Have it. We've both been practicing our breath holding
We have for
at different times, but
many years.
uh-huh.
As I open my thing again, okay. Unique skills needed again. You got to be able to be comfortable. If
Okay.
you're not comfortable, you're gonna be going to the surface a lot
Yeah.
longer.
And your team needs you.
Yeah, you got to stay down there. You got to be open. You got to be working on your plays.
Yep.
And you got to have some strength
That's
to be able to
cool.
wrestle a torpedo out of a Marine's hands.
I was close. I was close to being able to do this one. First under special skills.
You're like checking off your resume. Check, check, check. No.
Last one always gets me.
So the cool factor for this one is the marketing just seems really cool. Like I said, it was invented by Marines. So
Yeah.
the type of people that play it just seem like they're really cool people.
Very cool.
They're intense about it, but they stay calm underwater. And the fact that it's like 10 feet underwater
Yeah.
just makes it a little more intense.
Ooh.
But then the tiny little goal and the cute little torpedo makes it fun too.
They should do one where the pool is lit from the bottom with like red. So it's just red and spooky.
You know what I just realized? This is not a fun sport to watch though, unless you just hang out on the edge at the surface.
Everyone's just peeking in trying to see something.
What's
Guys,
going on down there?
Oh, ref, stop splashing. You're messing up the view.
Maybe people just lay on the edge of the pool with their face in the water and goggles.
Just snorkels?
Yeah.
Peeking in? That?
And then, whoa, when they're cheering.
Okay. Wait, was that it for that one?
Yeah, so out of 10 torpedoes, what would you rank it?
10 torpedoes, want to play. I'd give it a 6.
Okay.
It would be very cool and I'd love to try it, but I think probably has a steep learning curve, and I don't know how I feel about wrestling Marines 10 feet underwater.
Well, again, with training.
Yeah. With training, we'd bump it to a 7.
Okay.
And being capable of playing it, I'm going to have to say 2. I can barely swim to the bottom of the pool, let alone hang down there and fight.
That's true.
New ranking that I'm introducing just now, would watch it for the experience as a spectator, 9.
9 torpedoes.
To be just snorkeling there, floating on the shallow end, watching. Maybe I've got my floaties. Who knows?
Okay.
Or
Lots
I'm
of
on
options.
a little inner tube and I've just kind of poked my head down to see what's
I
going
like
on.
that.
Yeah.
You're just on your belly,
Just
floating around.
seems like the spectators are on vacation while the athletes are just
Yeah.
tearing each other apart.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that one.
Yeah, cool.
I've never heard that ever.
Underwater Torpedo League?
Yep.
Okay.
Not even a little bit.
Okay.
You might have this one. There was one when I worked in campus activities at my college. There was one that we really wanted to bring that I think was like the first one you talked about, but it was on trampolines. Both sides had trampolines.
Oh.
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah, it's not. I forgot what it's called. I just saw that today too.
It might be just like a random gimmick that you can rent too. I don't know if it's like a sport.
It is. It's a real sport. Volleyball on trampolines.
That
Yeah.
would be fun.
And it's got like a circular trampoline in the middle
Yep.
where you can spike from.
So you're like hopping from tramp to
Yep.
tramp,
Yep.
lean.
They also have slam ball, which is like a basketball version of that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about. I've heard of slam ball.
Yeah.
Alright.
Next one,
Next one, ready for it?
Bo Tao Shi, also known as pole toppling.
Okay.
This is one of the craziest ones. So, origin, it was traditionally played on November 1st by cadets at the National Defense Academy of Japan on its anniversary.
Very cool.
So, it's a Japanese sport. Tons of people come out to watch it, and it's this huge thing
Okay.
every year. I don't think they do it anymore because it's a little dangerous.
Is it
Yes.
dangerous enough for us to start trying?
Yes. Well, it requires some. I guess you'll see. So each match lasts 2 minutes and consists of a total of 300 people.
What? Okay, I love the
So
start of this.
There are 2 teams of 150 each, and the goal is to knock down your opponent's pole.
Okay.
So my team is going to be split into 75 offensive players and 75
Holy
defensive
cow.
players.
What
People-
a massive thing.
The people on my and you would have the same 75 and 75.
Mm-hmm.
So the defensive people gather into a tight circle
Mm-hmm.
and put like a 10, 12 foot pole straight up in the air.
Okay.
One guy climbs up to the top of that and he has to stay at the top and hold on.
What?
And then you have other people standing on the shoulders of the people on the bottom on the scrum, and they're like a secondary support of the pole.
Okay.
And your 75 offensive players are running to the other one, and they just got to topple the pole. They just got to knock it
What?
over. So if you can imagine, it's just a mass of 150 people trying to knock this one. Like half of them are trying to knock it over, and there's people crawling all over the pole like ants, and there's half of them are trying to keep it straight up.
Holy cow.
And so it ends if one team can knock the pole down past 30 degrees.
Okay. So it doesn't have to come down all the way. That is crazy.
And then also, if nobody does that within 2 minutes, then they kind of reset.
Okay. Like that they reset the armies because that's how many people are playing.
Yeah, basically. And so the rules for this one, there's no punching, kicking, strangling, pulling heads, ripping shirts off, or anything super rough like
Okay.
that.
Nice. Good.
Except from the video I watched, I saw literally all of them. Except I didn't see any strangling.
Okay, so the rules are suggestions.
I guess. I don't know if they do this one anymore either. Oh, wait, I said that about this one. But yeah, I don't think they do it anymore. Because
That's so funny.
they have little, like, foam helmet things that you'd see in some
That's
kind of
okay.
martial art.
So you've got a little bit of defense.
Right. But I literally saw shirts, like, a couple guys got their shirts ripped off. And they're, on the offensive team, you have people that go up to the opponent's scrum and kind of stand there and act as a launching board for the people for their team to jump.
Lord of
into
the
the
Battle
middle of the
Helm's
circle.
Deep style.
Yeah, and
To get nerdy.
so you're just, if you're on the offense, you're just running and just dive and jump into the middle of the circle and just
so crazy.
claw your way to the middle to try and knock it down. And I saw the
Oh,
rider.
wow.
The rider on top is the position of the guy who's on top of the pole. From the video I saw. Yeah, which we'll link this below, but
It seems
the
like
show
the
notes,
type of video you have
it's
to watch.
very fun to watch. It's a little violent, but yeah, he's just like holding on. He's kicking people.
Wow.
It's pretty intense.
This one's a mix of Mulan and
Yeah.
Capture the Flag
Yeah, it is very capture the flag.
and King of the Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I guess a mix of those three.
Um,
That's insane. I've not heard of anything about this one either.
yeah. So, unique skills needed.
Mm-hmm.
You need to know how to walk on people.
Okay. I don't know if I've got that. We'll just count me
I don't
out.
have much experience with that.
Yeah.
And you also need to know how to hold up a pole, which I might be able to do.
I think I could
do that.
Yeah, if I've got 74 other people helping,
Yeah.
I think I could handle it.
It's a team
Yeah.
thing.
Okay.
So, for cool factor,
Uh-huh.
I'm saying the fact that you have 300 players.
That
That's pretty cool.
is kind of like not unheard of, but like that's pretty rare to get a game with that many people.
Yeah, let's get a game of Bo Tao Shi going.
Bring 300 of your
Yeah.
closest friends
I
and
got
we can play.
I got 149 on my team.
What if they had that at like high schools? Big high schools?
This is like a definitely a college thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just crazy college
Just
students.
college guys.
The
yeah.
Aggies versus another college.
Alabama.
Alabama.
Yeah, that I don't know if people would. Well, I think people would love doing that, but I don't know if as a country
Yeah.
people would let that happen.
It makes me think, and this is going to get me some haters, but they just going to hate.
Yeah.
Makes me think that some of the sports that we have going on are pretty lame. Like some of
think
the
we
ones
need to
we follow the most closely.
Spice them up a little bit.
Yeah, like baseball, I could see the appeal. I could see how you could get really into it.
Light it on fire. Light
Yeah,
the baseball on fire. Light
You
everything on fire.
exactly. And make in between the bases high line, slack line,
Oh, okay.
and you're 30 feet in the air.
Okay. I like that.
Yeah. And
And it's just water below
and you have another 40 players below you in the water
with bats
with bats
of their own.
that also shoot water like those
Oh,
little water
they've got
torpedoes.
super soakers?
Yeah, super soakers.
Yeah, and I think football, maybe you just take off all the padding. So it's like rugby, but football rules.
Uh-huh.
And instead, you just put on, the offense gets armor
That's good.
and then the defense doesn't get anything.
Okay.
It's just like t-shirt and shorts
All right. I'm okay with that. And they're playing in a mud pit,
and a Muppet. Yeah,
naturally.
yeah. And basketball, I don't know, just make it a metal ball.
Yeah, make the hoops 75 feet in the air. So you only score once or twice per game, but it's really cool when it
Just
happens.
these massive guys just launching a metal ball up there.
It's shot put, actually.
Shot put basketball. That's kind of fun.
Okay. I'm not going to
Good
lie.
luck catching that.
All three of the ones that we came up with seem pretty fun.
This is just
Yeah. What's enough? Let's keep going. No, we should move on.
swimming. Instead of in a pool with lanes, I think just English Channel. Just send like 500 people out there. Just go. See you on the other side.
Yeah. And some of it is electrified.
Oh,
So you have to
put some
stay
eels,
in.
electric eels in there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, some predators. Nothing like some predators.
Drop a couple sharks from a helicopter mid race.
Oh man.
Anyway,
Anywho,
how many poles would you give this sport of Botaoshi?
cool. Well, okay, capable of playing it. 6. I think it probably doesn't take. After you watched it for a little bit. I think you could jump in there, kind of pick a position if you're a runner, leaper, or like helping hold the pole. I think you could jump in pretty quick.
Okay.
Would want to play it 3.
Yeah.
I think it would be chaos. Well, no. 6.
Once for the experience, maybe.
Yeah. to be able to say I've played it, I'll go with a 6.
Okay. That's fair. All right. Next one. This this is a little bit different. This is called Buzkashi.
I love it already.
So this one is also known as goat pulling.
Perfect.
So this is actually the national sport of Afghanistan.
Oh.
Buzkashi.
Okay.
And so it originated when Afghan tribes would have competitions between each other
Yeah.
and try and steal the other's goats.
Mm-hmm.
So it's played on horseback.
Oh.
Sometimes some countries, or different countries around that area have different rules.
Yeah.
But typically it's played on horseback, and the ball is a headless goat carcass,
Oh, perfect.
which makes it unique, kind of quirky and fun.
There's lots of twists in this sport so far.
Yeah. So in some countries it's 2 teams against each other. In some countries it's just a free-for-all.
Okay. Love it.
And so the goal is to get the goat carcass into the hole.
Okay.
Your opponent's hole.
Nice.
They just dig a hole in the ground, just gotta chuck it in there.
So just a much more violent version of capture the flag a little bit and golf. It makes together.
Or polo. It's been described as what polo would look like if it was in a prison.
Okay. If it was in a prison?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, a couple rules: you can't catch or attach the goat to your saddle. You have to hold it with your hand or like with your leg, like wrap your leg around it or something.
Of course. That's how I would do it, I think.
You got to stay on your animal.
Yep.
Can't get off. And you can whip your horse and your opponent's horse, but not the other opponent's.
Okay.
So everybody's got to whip.
Nice.
Yeah.
Then you're not allowed to be whipping them.
Just the animals.
Okay.
And I guess the goat carcass, if maybe that's some kind of strategy.
If need be. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it might work. I've never played it.
I don't
I
know.
wouldn't know. And, yeah. So the unique skills needed for this one: bicep strength for
Okay.
holding a 100+ pound goat carcass.
Yep. Not there.
You gotta-
not there yet.
You got to just be able to huck that thing.
Yep.
You also got to be able to be comfortable whipping your opponent's horse.
I thought you said you couldn't whip your opponent's horse.
Just the horse, not the opponent.
Oh, I thought you could whip your horse
And your
and
opponent's
your
horse.
opponent's horse,
but
but
not
not
your
the
opponent.
person.
Exactly.
Okay. I count me out, I think.
Or you got to be comfortable just on a horse with a whip.
Yeah. Well, even take away the whip. Comfortable on a
Yeah.
horse. That's
Yeah,
enough to.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's a unique skill.
And if you're not on a horse, comfortable enough with a whip.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm close, but not quite confident enough to just whip the horse and not the human.
And put those things together with a goat carcass.
Add-
You've got the
toss a
the
goat carcass.
complex sport of buzkashi.
Yeah.
So the cool factor is that it's it's usually associated with weddings.
That
So it's like a wedding sport,
is
which
cool.
I don't know why we don't have more wedding sports in the U.S.
We should. Yeah.
Besides cornhole and bocce ball.
I'm really disappointed in the U.S. right now. Yard games are nothing compared to
Buzkashi.
Buzkashi.
Yeah. So typically the father of the bride sponsors a game
Okay.
and will give out prizes to the winners. Like sometimes cash prizes, sometimes
Very
like
cool.
a TV or a refrigerator.
There's a cool factor
More modern
right there.
times, which is very cool. Win a washing machine from throwing a goat into a hole.
Where'd you get
Sounds
your
like a good time.
nice washing machine? Where'd you get that? Oh, Buzkashi.
I won it in a game of throw the goat in the hole.
Yeah. I'm pretty strong
It's
with
like, oh,
goat
you play?
carcasses.
Well, every once in a while.
I dabble.
That was my sister's wedding.
More of a horseback rider. Not so great at the goat part, but I did my part
I play my part. My team and I, we're tight.
every Thursday.
That's Buzkashi League. Yeah. Hey guys, I can't come today. My horse is sick. Or
I accidentally cut my whip. I don't know. I don't know much.
yeah. So I can't make it. We had to eat the goat. So
The carcass isn't fresh enough this week, guys. We're gonna have to butcher another one.
a little
and
rancid.
It's a whole thing.
Yeah. Next week. So I think that's probably my favorite part about it is it's a wedding sport.
I think that's amazing, actually.
Yeah.
In terms of would I play it? 2.
2 goats,
Could I
Dude.
play it?
headless goat carcasses out of 10.
Yeah. Headless goat carcasses. Would I play it 2? Nope. 4.
Okay.
I'm not gonna let myself say 0 on any of these because I just feel like just one experience.
Yeah.
Could I play it? 2. I think I could get on the horse. I think I'd be pretty lost the whole time. I would be on the horse that's just kind of grazing,
Yeah.
and I'm not entirely sure how to get it to go where I want.
Yeah.
And then someone would throw a goat at me, and
Who
all
knows?
bets are off.
Just chaos.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. It's not for everybody,
No.
I'll say.
Yeah. Not for most people for sure, but not everyone.
It's not for some people. The next sport, kind of similar to Bo Tao Shi in a
Oh,
way.
hello.
This one is a Spanish sport.
Okay.
It's called a castel.
Okay.
Less of a sport, more of a show
Experience.
and a festival, a competition.
Okay.
More competition than sport.
Love it.
Also known as Catalan Human Tower.
I'm excited already.
So this one was first documented in 1712, and then interest began to grow in the last 50 to 60 years,
Uh huh.
and it's become more popular.
Oh, so it's like recently becoming
It's modern.
bigger. Okay.
There's a beautiful video on YouTube done by National Geographic.
Really?
It's very well done. I'll link it.
Wow.
So every 2 years, people gather to make the tallest and most complex towers that
Uh-huh.
they can, but you have to make it out of humans.
I love it.
So,
So creative.
so think of Bo Tao Shi, but slower and more calculated.
And creative.
Kind of. Well, I don't know if it's you're trying to make like a shape, like you're trying to.
I'm picturing
This year, you're trying to make a wonder of the world. Go.
You can do the best. I will know that. since it
Best
wasn't
Statue of
coming together.
Liberty. Best Leaning Tower of Pisa. Go. So yeah, this is a more static, slow sport.
Okay.
Um,
Methodical.
exactly.
Yep.
So there's people of all ages and all backgrounds
Perfect.
that play, and you want to get you want to make as many floors as you can made
Okay.
of people.
Can I stop you real fast
Yeah.
so you can correct me?
Yep.
I'm picturing World War Z, and I know that can't be it.
That's
they're
more
piling
that's
up on
closer to Bo Tao Shi.
Okay.
You can think of World War Z for that.
They're just like running up on top of each other.
Yep. Zombie looking guys. This one. Okay, so let me explain kind of the structure of a tower.
Please do.
So, for a 10-floor tower, which is the highest that anyone's ever gone. Nobody's gone 11 floors.
Of course.
You're gonna need about 1,000 people.
No way.
So 800 to 900 of those people are just in a circle,
Okay.
really tightly packed. And think of if you're standing in the very middle with a group of like 20 people just huddled together.
Yep.
Everybody else is reaching their hands forward and kind of like pushing inwards, and the people behind them are reaching over their shoulders and pushing on their arms.
Okay.
So everybody's pushing in.
So if you're in the middle, that's probably not ideal, but it's part of the festivities.
Well,
so
it
you
depends
love
who you are.
it. Yeah. You're a social fella. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get to know your neighbors, and yeah. You're going to be there for a little bit while people are building the tower. So
Yeah, we're looking at
if you
1,000
can,
people.
If you can focus and do it, I'd say go for it. So the second floor, you're going to need about 80 people.
Okay.
The third floor, you're going to need about 40 people.
Okay.
And then after that, it's just a couple people per floor.
Okay.
And you're going to get smaller and smaller people as you go up. So typically
Gotcha.
there's
Okay.
children at the top.
Okay.
There's a couple 9, 11-year-olds.
Makes sense. Easiest to support.
Exactly. So these kids are, I don't know, 10, 40 feet in the air
Holy cow.
or so.
What happens if they fall?
Uh,
Do they just roll down a hill of people?
So it's dangerous.
Yeah.
It's pretty dangerous.
It seems dangerous for sure.
And people can get hurt because you're falling
A long ways.
30 feet onto a pile of people below. And you're wearing helmets.
I'm so happy this exists.
People are wearing helmets. And get this, there have been no deaths recorded since the introduction of helmets.
Good for them.
But before that, there were
Plenty.
4.
Oh,
4 deaths.
even that is not a lot.
Yeah, it's less than I thought as well.
I mean, I guess probably you're pretty careful.
Well, it's kind of scary watching a crumbling castle.
Uh huh.
Just seeing this small child just tumble
Oh wow.
in slow motion.
Uh-huh.
It's in this YouTube video,
Watching them
this
fall.
National Geographic video.
Wow.
And
That
this
is-
tumble. It's very crazy.
That is so cool, though. This is a good topic.
But people love it. Like,
Yeah, I love it.
get tattoos. They like live for it.
It makes me really want more fun things to happen here.
It's been described as a heartbeat or a heart, just the whole structure.
Uh huh.
Because everybody's like doing this
Acting.
one thing.
Uh-huh.
They said you can like feel the heartbeat.
Whoa.
But it's dangerous.
Do you have to be a part of something to do that, or can you just be like, I went in on that tower?
From what I've seen, people are kind of wearing the same thing.
So it's kind of more planned.
I believe it is.
It's not like, hey, here's this festival. We're
Come on!
doing one later. You in?
You in?
Yeah.
I got 999 others. I'm just waiting for one more.
You can be on top. If you say yes now, you can be on the 5th floor.
Wait, how heavy are you? Yeah. We'll put you at 4. Floor 4. So, unique skills needed. Can't be claustrophobic.
Of course.
These people are packed tight,
Right.
real tight. And you also, similar to Botaoshi, you got to know how to walk and climb on people.
Naturally. Which seems... It does surprise me that this is now the second time that's a special skill required.
I just gravitate towards these types of sports where you
People
walk
stacking.
on people. Yeah. Where people are wood blocks. Human Jenga. Think about
Oh,
it. Think about it.
That is good.
Everybody lay,
You're just pulling
lay
on
down
someone's
3
legs.
by 3. And we'll alternate directions as you go up. You just grab somebody's legs and
Just start pulling up. The person above then has to just have great core strength so they don't like fall down.
yeah, just they're balancing on somebody's legs by their stomach and just holding up. Yeah,
Something to think about.
something to think about.
We'll put it in the books, see what happens.
Yeah, put the idea out there. Maybe someone can run with it.
Yep.
Cool factor. It's a tower made of humans.
It's just cool.
it's a tower made
whole
of
thing.
humans. It's like 50 feet tall.
That
You
makes
gotta love it.
that makes me really want to like get down there and do it with people.
Mm-hmm.
When is the festival? Do you know? Or I guess never mind. Let me ask this: do you know what the festival is, or is it just kind of festivals? It's a fun thing.
It's somewhere in like southeast Spain, I
Okay.
believe. I think actually it's April 2022.
That's close.
It's every 2 years. So,
That's
well, with COVID, I don't know.
would they let us in?
Well, by
Well-
then, I don't. Maybe it got rescheduled or something. I'm not sure.
We'll send some emails. Hope for the best.
Talk to our contacts, our
Yeah.
people.
Because I would love to do something like that. I would fly out to do
Yeah.
something like that.
That'd be cool. And then you also do a running of the bulls.
Yeah.
Maybe.
While I'm there,
And then the tomato festival.
naturally.
You know that one?
Nope.
Where you, like throw tomatoes. It's like tomato paste
Oh
heaven.
no, that's fun.
I think that's in Spain as well.
The closest is the pumpkin bash.
Pumpkin chunkin?
That pumpkin chunkin, that's what it is. Which makes me think of the video where this lady made like a giant slingshot, and she
Oh,
pulled back hard.
Yeah, from Amazing Race.
Yeah, pulled back hard, let go, and then it like flipped around and shot back at her.
Right in the face.
Yeah, I hope she's okay. That
She
probably
is,
was
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
She's still chunking pumpkins.
I could be wrong, but I think she went back on Amazing Race.
Good. So she had a pleasant enough experience.
I know she was okay. She was a little shook up. Yeah, it was a watermelon. If you got a watermelon
Oh, that's
broken
what it
over
was.
your nose, yeah, you can imagine.
I would not. I don't think I'd love that.
No. So how many human towers would you give that?
10
10
I
out of
think
10 for both?
for doability. If I could do it, 7.
No, you totally could.
Well. Oh, yeah,
You'd be
okay,
on
you're right.
top?
I'm mixing up the ratings. Could I do it? 10.
Yeah.
Would I want
Okay.
to? We'll say 9. I would love to be a part of the experience. I don't really know how I would handle being that closely packed with so many other people.
Okay.
Like, I bet it would probably smell for
For
sure.
sure. For sure. But it's part of it.
Yeah.
It's a community.
Well, what if you get next to like the really smelly people and you're like, I'm just here. We're good 20 minutes into this.
Well, then that's just part of the game.
I guess you get used to
It's
it.
part of the game.
Okay.
It's like, what if I get tired when I'm running a marathon? It's just what happens.
Okay, I accept that. 10 out of 10 for both.
Okay, love it.
I love that one.
Good. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. So that's kind of all my underground sports. I have a special shout out though.
Uh-oh.
The one that didn't quite fit the category of sport. It was also a little bit more festival.
Okay.
This one is Japan as well. This
Okay.
one's called Onbashira, also known as the Sacred Pillars Festival.
Perfect.
So this one is
Let me guess what the pillars are made out of.
Humans.
Humans.
No. But it does involve humans. Like
That
all
is-
sports.
As they should.
This one originated in Japan 1,200 years ago.
Uh-huh.
So every 6 years during the Onbashira festival,
Mm-hmm.
they cut down and strip like 8 massive trees.
Okay.
That are, I don't know, 10 tons.
Oh, massive.
And they just tie ropes to them
Uh-huh.
and pull them down the hill to this shrine
Okay.
to replace the pillars.
Okay.
So you get, again, something about people all piling to one space. You get people riding these logs.
Oh, that's
It's
fun.
very dangerous. You have a couple people that die every year.
Oh, every...
I think is what I read.
Wow. That is
Um,
impressively dangerous. Holy cow.
That's impressively dangerous.
I'm really impressed with how sketchy that sounds.
And so, yeah, you get these guys jumping on these logs, and they'll pull them to the top of the hill, and right as it's tipping down,
Oh,
they just give it a yank, and then you have these guys riding this log down this grassy hill.
That would be scary.
Sometimes you get crushed. They're massive logs.
Hopefully you don't.
Right,
Yeah.
which makes it kind of part of the fun, you know?
If you can get on in a way that lets you bail easily.
Right. But then you
Somehow.
don't want to get, like, sucked underneath, or, like, what if it rolls on
Yeah.
top of you?
Yeah.
So it's like,
Holy cow.
it's part of the...
Okay.
It's part of it. It's like smelling a stinky guy at the
Stinky guy, couple guys getting crushed.
Castel.
It's the
It's
experience.
part of yeah, exactly. And they also add these big V's
Uh-huh.
out of wood, and they pile like 20 guys on those.
Okay.
And so those guys are swaying as the log rolls.
Why
And I saw one where they pushed the log off this mini cliff into the water, and so it goes out, and right as it hits a tipping point, they just right into the water.
Perfect.
It's just people piling on top of each other again. That's the theme of this episode.
Jumping on a log.
Maybe I'll just call this episode Piles of Humans.
That's good.
So it's the most dangerous festival in Japan.
Uh-huh.
It's only every 6 years, so whatever.
6 or 60?
6.
Okay.
So the rules of this one are pull the log down the mountain and don't get crushed.
Okay.
So unique skills needed for this one: grip strength
Yeah.
to hold on to a bare log.
Fierce luck.
A little bit of luck. That's a skill that you need. And balance.
Yeah.
Don't fall off the log.
Okay.
So cool factor about this one, I think from the videos there's a fun cultural aspect to it. Like it looks like they have all these traditions and
Yeah.
people are there watching, and then you can hear people go, "Oh!" as the logs flying down the hill.
And I feel like if you survive, which I'm sure most do, if you survive, like
Most do.
that's pretty cool to be able to say, like, to your kids someday, and then proceed to tell them, "Don't you dare get on the log,
Get off that log.
child.
I'm a man now, Mom.
This is my right.
This is my duty.
Mother, allow me to ride the log
Get off.
to manhood."
Get off of there. So how many logs, how many pillars would you give that one?
Cool factor. I'll give it a 7 because it's absurd, but it does seem cool.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Do it. I know I said earlier. No, I think I still would be tempted.
Yeah.
4.
You could at least be part of it and like pull the log or
Yeah, I would have a hard time
It's not
helping
fun.
other people do the fun part.
yeah, it's not as fun.
I would
But
I would be willing to do it if I was the top of one of the V's.
okay.
If I were to guess, I would say that's the safest spot. Because if it starts tipping, you're the furthest away from getting
People.
crushed.
Oh yeah, but you do fall the farthest.
You fall the furthest, but I think I could take a fall as long as I
Okay.
don't
Brace
get
for it.
crushed.
Yeah. Just train for it. It's a part
But
of the
maybe
training.
even the middle of the V, you
Yeah,
don't
you're just
fall as far,
between-
but you've still got some distance from the big main log.
Yeah, honestly.
Okay. Yeah, 4. I'd be willing.
Okay.
As long as Mallory never ever knew that I tried it, as well as my mom,
Okay.
then I think I'd be willing to.
I won't tell them.
They don't listen to this, so it's fine.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
They do. They listen to every episode.
Okay. So, what do you think is your favorite sport out of those ones?
Favorite sport as far as actually being willing or actually wanting to try it?
Yeah, you got kick volleyball.
Yeah.
You got underwater torpedo league,
Yep.
pole toppling,
Uh-huh.
goat pulling,
Yeah.
the Catalan Human Tower,
Uh-huh.
and then the Sacred Pillars Festival.
Okay, favorite one as far as absurdity, Pillars Festival.
Yeah.
Favorite one as in one that if someone were to say, "You want to do this right now?" I would most likely say yes. The kick volleyball.
Uh huh.
The one I would most like to experience for the story, the people tower.
The Human Tower.
And then the
Castel.
one I would most want to make a cool video of, the capture the flag pole.
Oh, Botaoshi.
Yeah, Botaoshi.
The World War Z capture the flag.
And then the one I'd most like to spectate, well, I don't know, the goat carcass one is pretty interesting.
That would be fun
I
to
would
watch.
watch that. So yeah, I won't.
Especially
rate
you
that
get
one.
in the wedding spirit. You
Yeah.
you can't help it.
I would love to attend. one
Yeah,
of
I'll
those
grab
weddings.
my horse. You
I'll be-
convinced me.
I'll be right back. I told
You
myself I
guys.
will not do it this year, but here I am.
No
every year.
Buzkashi for me this year, but
Mallory, where's my whip? I know you brought it.
she's like, I knew you would ask for it.
Oh, Josiah, that was a great topic.
That's it. That's all I've got. I
I
think my
was-
favorite is I do want to try Underwater Torpedo League.
Yeah,
It'd be kind of fun.
I think that
That's pretty accessible. More accessible than goat carcass polo.
yeah. Well, because you're more enticed by deep underwater in your current age than I am.
Yeah, I'm in a fad.
Yeah, because you were just doing scuba,
Yeah,
all sorts of scuba, and I just, if you got me down there, I think I'd have fun.
you would.
But it's not something I'd be like, yeah, I want that.
Think about it.
Now, if you were to say there's trampolines, and
Little
it's shot
slam
put
ball.
basketball
Shot put basketball.
on trampolines.
You know what? How about this? Pumpkin chunkin basketball. Throw a pumpkin up there.
First,
Into the hoop.
oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
First team to win, all the pumpkins they chunk is turned into pie for them by the losing team,
Oh, you have to make the winner a
and
pie.
they get a feast.
That's sweet. There's also a couple other sports that didn't make it, such as chess, boxing. Where you,
Please elaborate.
you box around and then play some chess and then kind of back and forth, which I love that one. Then there's the classic cheese rolling,
The classic.
where they throw. I think this is somewhere in Europe. They throw a wheel of cheese downhill, and you have to just toss yourself and try and beat the wheel of cheese, or at least get first.
I've heard of that one.
There's wife carrying,
Always
which
always
is just
fun.
like a race where you carry your wife.
What about the one? I think maybe it's more made just for funny videos than sport. But the one where you're running down a grooved hill, and there's just a giant, big, heavy ball.
Oh,
That's like-
a Zorb?
Yeah.
Zorb ball? That
That's
was in a
coming
list of tech. Like somebody thought it was a sport.
I would do that. I think that would be a lot of fun.
Yeah. You could add those to any sport, honestly. I mean, I know they do
Yeah.
it with soccer.
If you don't know what that is, basically there's a giant groove in a hill, and you're sprinting down this hill because behind you is just this the giant ball with a guy inside who's trying to run you over, and the ball is following the grooves, and you're just
Yeah,
trying
think
to
of Indiana Jones.
exactly. But most of you lose
You will lose, but you will survive.
potentially.
So that's fun.
Most of you.
It's part of it. Living is part of it.
Oh man,
All right, that's all I got.
I loved that. I thought that was a lot of fun.
I'm gonna play
Soccer.
right now.
It's soccer, but the goalie is 50 feet in the air
It's
on a pillar, a earth pillar, with the
It's-
goal behind him.
it's fencing, but you use a baguette.
It's golf. It is golf.
That sounds fun.
Wow. Oh, it's golf, but it has the energy level of a football game.
I love that. It's surfing, but you have to fit as many people onto the surfboard as possible. Human tower on a surfboard.
Oh, perfect. Stacks on stacks on stacks.
All right.
Should
Yeah.
we be done?
Yeah, what do you
I don't
got?
even want to do my topic. that was good. The year is 1969. It's October 12th. It's night. A man named Russ Gibb. He's a DJ. He's on a Detroit underground radio station, WKNR-FM.
WKRNFM.
Yep.
Okay.
At WKNR-FM.
WKNRFM.
He receives a call from a man named Tom. And it's a radio call, and it's back in the 60s, so imagine it's like,
He says,
hey, Tom.
"Hey WKNRFM, this is Tom."
He's like, this is Tom. And Russ says, hey, Tom, what do you have to say? And Tom says, listen, Paul McCartney's dead.
Listen,
And
I may have had something to do with it.
Russ Gibb, DJ, Detroit Underground Station DJ, says, I need some proof. How do you know that
How
Paul
old
McCartney's
is Paul
dead?
McCartney?
He's ancient. If you're listening, Paul, I don't know
I'm
how
sorry.
old you are. I think he's still alive, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah. The rest of the Beatles are dead.
I don't think of him as being old, but he's been around a while.
Yeah.
He's seen a couple full moons.
He's seen some werewolves in his day. I tried to start this off as a cool story, but basically, Tom says, "Hey, Paul McCartney's dead, and I can prove it." And Russ Gibb says, "How can you prove it?" And Tom says, "It's all in the music, man. It's all in the music." Those are all direct quotes.
He finds like clues in the music.
Yep.
Okay,
So
this
this was a really weird lead.
I already buy it.
Also, all of those lines were made up. The only part that's real is that a man named Tom called and said
WKRN-FM.
WKNR-FM and said, Paul McCartney's dead. Here's the evidence. And so today, we will decide whether or not Paul McCartney is really dead or if he was replaced by a second look-alike.
Okay, let me get my notes out. I'm going to take notes feverishly.
Oh, detective notes.
Yes.
Okay.
I will be asking questions as well.
while you get your notes out, what do you say we go back to the beginning? Okay.
The year is 0.
Yep.
God has just created the world.
Uh-huh. Year 0. Fast forward. Fast forward 1967 years to 1967. Okay. No, we're in that was really funny. We're in 1967. There's a rumor going around London that Paul McCartney was killed in a traffic accident. Okay. It's a big deal. The Beatles are real popular right now. Mm-hmm. You tracking?
Height of fame.
Height of fame.
Top of the roller coaster.
And really one of the most famous bands to have ever existed.
Some would say.
Most.
So far.
Most would say.
I'd probably say that
Yeah,
too.
I think I would, for sure. And so rumors are going around. I don't really know where it started, but the rumors are going around. Paul McCartney, it's a big enough deal that Paul McCartney speaks to the press and says, "Hey, I'm alive. I'm doing fine.
Look at me."
Yep. So that's the end of that. People thought he was dead in 1967. And then he comes on a couple months later. There's a big press release where he's talking. He's saying, "Hey, guys, heard the rumors. Just want to let you all know I am doing okay." Okay? So, they release, in 1967, they release Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, which is just a ridiculous album name.
It's a heater.
And it's just quite a bop. In 1968, they released the White Album. They actually didn't name the album. I think it was just called The Beatles. But famous album, all white cover. So it's called the White Album.
Lonely Hearts Club Band is 67?
67, yep. White Album, 68. Now, keep in mind, this is going to be important-ish. The band was known for backmasking. Do you know what backmasking is?
Was that when somebody comes up to you at the store and says, "Hey, you need to put on your mask. There's a pandemic going on."
Your mask is on backwards.
And you say, "Shoot, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
And then you just keep it on the back of your face.
You nailed it. Yeah, back in 1968 when the pandemic was really raging, that was big. No, backmasking is
Backmasking.
backmasking is when they're recording onto records, right? Backmasking is when they record something on backwards, and so it's like reversed.
Yeah.
It's like a weird artsy thing, but you play the record in
Backwards.
reverse, and there's like messages and stuff.
Paul McCartney is dead.
Hey, everybody.
Wait, they actually did that?
That's what people thought.
Oh.
I've listened to some of this stuff, and it's
Okay.
like, I don't know. I don't know if they
Okay.
did this on purpose or if people are just like, I think I heard them say.
And like, if you listen closely and you're listening for it, you might be able to hear it.
Yeah, if I tell you exactly what to listen for and you give yourself some confirmation bias, you might just get there.
Okay.
So backmasking, and they also, if you read some of the Beatles lyrics, they've got weird lyrics in a lot of their songs. So it was actually pretty trendy for people back then to analyze Beatles lyrics, which I didn't think about this during my research until just now. Did you ever see that random movie that came out that was about like the whole world forgot about the Beatles?
No, I
except
never
this one
did.
guy?
Yesterday, I think it
Yeah.
was called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I never did.
What a strange movie plot.
Was it good?
It was really entertaining.
Okay.
I was a fan.
All right.
Anyway, that's it. That was all
Sorry, I
I
couldn't go with you there.
It's just such a weird movie idea that I feel like I had to bring it up.
Okay.
It deserved.
If you're talking about the Beatles, you have to talk about
Uh-huh.
Paul McCartney and that movie.
Exactly. So they're really known for that, and it's pretty trendy for people to analyze the lyrics, try to figure out the deep meanings all this stuff. Did you just draw a right triangle?
Sometimes I sketch when I'm listening.
Okay, good.
You said it was really trendy for people to. Sorry, the PSAT is still in the brain.
Are you doing?
I'm just doing some math over
Are
here,
you
figuring out the
doing
angles.
logarithms right now? Okay, we gotta keep
That was
going.
literally purely subconscious. I didn't think about
That
that.
was very funny. Okay, so they released the White Album. People are analyzing all these lyrics. You're still thinking about the right triangle.
Did you just draw a right triangle?
Just draw a perfectly angled right triangle.
I did. All right, you may continue. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
I'll keep sketching.
So then, we've got Sergeant. We've got to get through this episode. We've got Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, 1967, 1968. We've got the White Album. This is all we're gonna revisit all this stuff.
Okay, I got my notes.
1969, they release famous album. Do you remember what it's called?
Paul, whatever Paul McCartney is dead is backwards.
Whatever.
Whatever.
McCartney. No, it's Abbey Lane.
Oh,
Their most-
Abbey Road.
Abbey, did I just? I'm gonna goofball. This is my topic, and I got their most famous album wrong. Yeah, I should make a goofball.
Okay.
Goofball is come up with another idea for the goofball. We never
No,
took.
there's one on the back.
Oh, one on the back. Okay. Eat, eat a goofball punishment.
Eat it. Eat it.
Oh,
Do you have to eat the whole? Oh, you did. Just popped it right in.
that was the kind of the worst.
How's it taste?
I'm gonna just chew on it for a little bit, see what
Okay.
happens.
Maybe pulp it up a little bit.
Yeah. All right. We'll keep talking while that's just resting in my mouth.
It's like a Listerine strip. You just kind of let it dissolve there.
All right. So
Good fiber. Good source of fiber.
I'm really bummed I got the name of that album wrong. That was
Okay,
really
let me
sad.
know when you finish eating it.
Okay, Abbey Road. They release Abbey Road. A couple weeks later, Tom. Okay, we're back to Tom.
Okay.
It's back in
Call him
1969.
WKRN FM.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, is Paul the one on Abbey Road that's barefoot?
Mm-hmm. We're gonna get to all this.
Okay. Okay.
Also, this conspiracy is ridiculous.
Okay.
It's just dumb. I don't. Okay. Anyway, we're getting to it. So, we're back there. Tom goes public. Okay. He's got this idea that Paul McCartney's dead.
I'm
and
releasing. He's like, honey, it's time.
call
I'm releasing my idea.
WKNFM.
Call WKRN FM.
It's time. So he calls. DJ answers and he says, Paul McCartney's dead. DJ says, prove it. He says, okay, I will. Play the intro of Revolution 9. Okay, that's from the White Album. The intro from the song Revolution 9. Play it backwards. It's going to change everything. The DJ's like, all right, I've got that capability somehow. We'll just run it and see what happens. He plays it backwards and it says, turn me on, dead man.
Don't like that. This is what it sounds like, though. Okay.
Number nine.
That's what it sounds like forward.
I have.
So when you play number nine in reverse, it sounds to me. Well, what it sounded like to me was turn me on, dead man. Turn me on, dead man.
It could sound like anything.
Yeah.
Could sound like a lot of things.
But DJ's like, all right, let's talk about this. So he keeps giving some evidence, and there's lots of evidence. We'll talk about all of it later, but yeah, a lot of it. So a lot of it's better than that. But his original thing is he's talking about a dead man in this, and that's how he knows that Paul McCartney's dead. And then later, Strawberry Fields Forever. It's a single they released. John Lennon says, I buried Paul. Near the end of the song, he says, I buried Paul. Now, let's keep going with the story a little bit, and then we will dive into a lot of the evidence.
Okay.
There's a lot that people have thought of that helps,
Okay.
but doesn't really. in my
Notes are
opinion.
ready. My notes are ready.
Okay, so Abbey Road's released, and Abbey Road just proved everything. Apparently, the rumor had been going around some college campuses, and Tom finally decides it's time for the world to know. So, Michigan Daily published an article review on Abbey Road. So, this is a pretty big article, and the headline read, "McCartney dead, new evidence brought to light." And it's about Abbey Road. And it's because 4 Beatles walking across the crosswalk, right? Now, when you think of that, what would you say that symbolizes?
First off, death. My second guess, purpose.
Wow, very good.
Yeah.
I finished the goof. I just swallowed it.
Wow.
It kind of dissolved for a little bit, and it wasn't.
That was a long time.
Yeah, that was
Longest goof
I
we've
didn't
had.
really enjoy that.
Yeah, sorry about that. I wrote that one down.
People think when they call themselves the pallbearers, which I think is funny.
That is very clever.
Yep. Here's what they think it symbolizes: a funeral. So you've got John Lennon. He's dressed in white. He represents the church.
Okay.
Okay. You've got Ringo. Ringo is dressed in black. He's mourning. He's
Okay.
also symbolizing the Undertaker.
Oh, like the wrestler?
He's just like the wrestler. We don't know why he was symbolizing that. It just happened.
He just loves him.
Yeah. George Harrison, he symbolized the gravedigger. He was dressed up in work clothes, and that's all that they had to convince themselves that worked.
This guy's wearing bell bottoms. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that's work clothes, but
Now, Paul, here's where people get freaked out. Paul, he was out of step with the rest of them, which
yeah, they're all left foot forward. He's right foot forward.
Mm-hmm. He's out of step. He's barefoot.
True?
His eyes are closed.
Okay.
And here's the kicker. He's got a cigarette in his right hand. Do
Yeah.
you see it?
I see it.
Paul, or should I say, the real Paul, was left-handed.
No.
I'm not kidding.
He would never
Uh-huh.
smoke with his right hand.
Look to the back. You'll see a license plate on a Volkswagen.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it?
I see it.
What does it read?
It's very pixelated.
Okay, I'll read it. It says LMW T8IF. Now,
It says WKRNMF.
whistleblower WKNR
It says don't trust Tom.
28IF. And guess what?
That's
Paul-
the date that he died.
No, that's not even a date. Paul would have been 28 IF. He was still alive.
Okay, that is crazy.
Okay,
Talk about proof.
so we need to pause really fast. This all sounds ridiculous, right?
No, I'm buying it.
You're buying it? It sounds pretty absurd to me. The thing about it, though, is that this blew up.
Yeah.
Like, this was big and a very popular conspiracy, and a lot of people were getting on board, and a lot of people were investigating.
Yeah.
So, as silly as all these clues sound, it was enough for this to go viral and be a pretty popular thing.
Okay.
So, the evidence I've mentioned so far lead to one possibility, and one possibility only. Paul died on November 9th, 1966 at 5 a.m. He left Abbey Road Studios after an argument. That was actually seen. He got in an argument at Abbey Road Studios. He left. He hopped into his, is it Aston Martin or Ashton Martin?
Ashton Kutcher.
You
know what?
Ashton Kutcher vehicle?
That's November 9th. That's the date this episode comes out.
It's been-
Even more.
Wait, Paul McCartney must be dead.
Even more proof.
He hopped in a sports car, and on November 9th at 5 a.m., he was killed in a car accident that was caused by a hitchhiker named Rita. If you know the Beatles much, you know that a lot of those things are significant. They have lyrics that talk about 5 a.m. on November 9th. They have a song that talks about Rita. And I think they've got another thing that talks about the date.
I bet Lola was involved too.
Exactly. And Jude.
And Sergeant Pepper.
But
And Yellow Submarine.
the conspiracy goes as follows. He dies November 9th at 5 a.m., but the Beatles were huge. They could not let one of their members die for the sake of the band and for the sake of the people.
Oh.
So, what did they do? They hired an imposter.
They had to protect their followers' hearts.
Most theories point towards an actor named William Campbell, who had actually this is proven. He had recently won a pretty decent sized McCartney lookalike contest.
Okay.
So he won it. So the theories are saying that they hired him to step in.
So if someone's going to do it, he's the guy.
Yep. Now here's what's interesting. With the dates that were given when they think he was hired in, they didn't tour very much. They didn't tour for quite a while. When they toured again, they had grown stashes. So they had changed their facial features enough so that he might have been able to get away with it.
Sneak right in there.
But here's the kicker. The other members of the band felt guilty for lying. So they decide, what are they going to do?
Write a song about it.
Lots of songs and albums. They're going to hide clues everywhere to help people find the truth.
They're not going to tell people.
Nope, because that seems silly.
They're going to make it a fun little adventure.
So the Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, ridiculous album name. The cover of that, we're going to get into the evidence here.
Okay.
The cover of that was pretty funerally. You can look it up.
That's the one with like a ton of people on the front?
Yeah. And it looks like they're mourners. And there was a doll who wore a sweatshirt that had the car that Paul was driving on it. And the car was headed towards the word stone from Welcome the Rolling Stones. So people think, why would they put his car headed towards the word stone?
Because Rita drove him off the road into a stone.
Exactly. Now, on the same album, if you opened up the inside of it, you'd see another picture where McCartney wore an arm patch that said OPD on his jacket. What's that an abbreviation for? Do you know?
Ohio Police Department.
Exactly. Nope, it's an abbreviation for officially pronounced dead.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
In the back cover of that album, all four of them are standing. 3 of them are facing the camera, and Paul is facing away from the camera
Let me guess.
with his back to the camera.
His right hand is out front.
His right hand is up. It's actually funny you mentioned that. Part of the theories is that apparently the Beatles were really into Eastern culture, and so some of the theories is that his right hand was up in a lot of these things, which is kind of like a death thing, a symbolism of death in a lot of cultures.
Okay.
So, now on the back of that cover, George's thumb points, they had the lyrics listed. George's thumb points to the opening lines of the song She's Leaving Home, and the lyrics state Wednesday morning at 5 o'clock as the day begins. Is that another reference to the day and time of Paul's fatal accident?
Way.
Now, if you hold a mirror
No.
to that, to the bass drum of that picture, you'll see something that says I, 1, IX, he, weird asterisk thing, die. But it says I, 1, which could mean 11, and then IX is 9.
Death. Oh.
Which is the day, that's the date he died, 11/9.
11. Okay.
And then it says he die, which is pretty straightforward. Now, on the White Album, we've got the Revolution 9 song that we already talked about. Now, if you listen to that backwards, it says Turn Me On Dead Man, and then there's a collision sound, and then there's the sound of crackling flames, and then you hear screaming that says, Let me out, let me out. And they think that's talking about Paul's accident. Very suspicious, right?
Too suspicious.
Now, here's a really important one. Okay, So there's a song on one of the albums that talks about I Am the Walrus. Very weird song, very, very weird lyrics. But it says I am the walrus, and you don't really know what that means. But apparently the song, according to the Beatles, is about Humpty Dumpty falling off the wall.
The famous walrus who fell off the wall.
Yeah. So the walrus falls off the wall and dies. Now, after these rumors start going out that Paul's dead, on the White Album, they release a song called Glass Onion.
Okay.
One of the lyrics in the song is, here's another clue for you all. The walrus was Paul. You getting convinced yet?
You pretty much. Do you think they are just messing with people at this point?
We'll get to it.
Okay.
And then if you listen to the song I'm So Tired backwards, you'll hear Paul is dead, man. Miss him, miss him.
Miss him.
Paul is dead, man. Miss him, miss him.
Paul is dead, man. Miss him. Miss him.
That was pretty good. Couple more things. Magical Mystery Tour. They were all wearing red flowers. Paul was wearing a black flower.
Symbolizes death.
Yep. And again, in Strawberry Fields Forever, John says, I buried Paul. So, therein lies the evidence, and there's actually quite a bit more.
I'm
But
sure there is.
I thought I'd just knock out the most important ones. What do you think? Did Paul die or no?
I'm thinking they're messing with people.
I'm thinking so too.
Which makes me appreciate them more.
So, you want to know the truth?
You have the truth?
Kind of.
Okay.
A little bit.
All right. Hit me.
Apparently, rumors were everywhere.
Hit me.
So it blew up. There were big radio stations and news groups that were covering it. There's one DJ in New York who spent an hour on the phone with people discussing it on the show, and then he got forcibly shut down because he was breaking the format that he was supposed to be following for the show, because he was just so intrigued by this conspiracy. And then they made a pretty popular TV series on it that's called Paul McCartney, The Complete Story, Told for the First and Last Time.
From beginning to end.
And the TV took place in a courtroom. The series took place in a courtroom. They talked about the theories, the clues. They had witnesses talk about stuff. They brought witnesses on.
They're like, I am Rita.
And then at the end of that series, the judge, who was kind of the lead guy on the show, said, I'll leave it up to the viewers to decide. You can choose what you believe.
The judge is like, I'm not getting paid enough to judge.
Yep. So it turns out this might not be true, but here seems a lot more factual than anything else I've said.
Yeah.
Paul was in Scotland with his wife and baby the whole time. And this entire thing, at least the start of it, was just some fans really reaching for a conspiracy.
Yeah.
Now, what we don't know is if they started putting stuff in there as a way to further it, just kind of as a hoax or a joke, just to mess around. So,
That's what I think.
yeah, so Paul's hanging in Scotland. Paul said that the Rolling Stone said, okay, you're dead. What are you going to do about it? It's a big thing breaking in America. You're dead. And so I said, leave it. Just let them say it. It'll probably be the best publicity we've
Yeah.
ever had. And
Yeah.
I won't have to do a thing except stay alive. So I managed to stay alive.
Not bad.
And it worked. Their publicity, the Capitol Records sales manager reported a significant increase in sales, and those months ended up being one of the biggest months in Beatles history
Yeah.
because of this conspiracy.
I remember a teacher in high school telling us about that because people had to go buy the record to go listen to what it sounds like backwards.
So their sales, all from this one thing, just exploded.
Think about this. The Beatles started that conspiracy in order to get more sales.
I actually
Think about it.
I think it could be a possibility because they knew that people were playing their stuff backwards, and they knew that they were analyzing their lyrics, and so they were like, let's throw some of this stuff in there.
Just go a little weird with it.
Yeah. John Lennon even said in an interview that he threw in the Paul was the walrus line just to confuse people.
I knew it. That's
Just-
the one that
just to mess with
convinced
them.
me.
Yep.
I like that.
In November of 1969, Life magazine decides to stalk Paul on his ranch that he's hanging out on in Scotland. It says he threw a bucket of water on the reporters and then told them he'd do an interview with them. Just a
Hup.
funny little detail for you.
All right. Let's do an interview.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready now.
And he said, "Rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. However, if I was dead, I'm sure I'd be the last to know."
Very true.
He also, here's just an example of like how crazy this whole thing blew up. He said in that interview, kind of for the first time that anyone had said it, the Beatles thing is over. Because they were at that time in the process of breaking up the band,
Oh.
like one of the biggest bands to have ever existed.
Yeah.
They were breaking up that band, and people totally glossed over that line because they were so focused on the
Wait,
conspiracy.
is he alive though?
But is he? But
Is that
he
really
living?
him?
And then
That's funny.
he offered some explanations for the clues. So the line that says "I buried Paul" actually says cranberry sauce. Doesn't make much more sense. He said OPD actually means, you were close, Ontario Police Department.
Okay.
He said he had a black flower because they had ran out of red flowers. And he said he was barefoot on Abbey Road because it was a hot day.
Wait, that does not make sense.
I know. Which makes me think
Dun, dun.
he's dead. And he even poked fun at it, or has been poking fun at it. Like, he made an album, a solo album, and he called it Paul is Live instead of Paul is Dead, which I think is
It's
funny.
like a live album or something too.
Yep.
I like that.
I'm
That's
almost
good.
done. There's the gist of the conspiracy. The only weird twist that threw things off in this story, I think, was, and this is bizarre, the Manson murders. Do you know much about those?
A little bit.
Okay, well, there's a family. I don't know a ton either, but a really famous, kind of mysterious murder situation. And a big part of why the Manson murders happened was because of Beatles songs. They listened to the lyrics and thought that the songs were talking about the apocalypse and thought that they needed to prepare for the apocalypse. And that's one of the things that caused those murders all to happen. And so a guy in 1996, Gary Patterson, wrote a book titled "The Walrus Was Paul." Interesting choice.
The Hatchet.
The Hatchet.
Hatchet.
He basically wrote this whole book that spelled all this stuff out and went into crazy detail.
Yeah.
And we'll link to that too in case you want to read it. I didn't read it. I don't know if his stance was for or against the conspiracy.
Okay.
But
Or somewhere in the middle.
yeah, but he said in his book, maybe the band was in on the hoax the whole time. It's a strong possibility, but they were never allowed to come forward with it because they couldn't let themselves be linked even more with the Manson murders. Like, they had done a lot of this stuff as a hoax, but because things got weird with the murder situation, they weren't allowed to come forward and kind of claim the hoax stuff
Interesting.
because they wanted to stay far from that situation.
Yeah, distance themselves. That's very interesting. Also, Hatchet was Gary Paulson, not Gary Patterson.
Way to know the author.
Kind of
that.
impressed about that.
Yeah,
Well,
good
I had to Google it. But did you know this is not the only conspiracy theory that Paul is involved with?
Name the other.
The other and my favorite conspiracy theory. There's a video. It's I don't know if it's We Are the World, but some video like that where it's a bunch of celebrities singing a song together. Paul McCartney walks across the stage right past Stevie Wonder, who is supposedly blind.
Oh yeah.
Paul knocks over a mic stand. Stevie reaches out and catches it mid-fall.
I read about that. I actually looked into that, wondering. I almost did that topic instead.
Because there's other evidence. Shaq tells a story. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this on here before. I just believe in it so much. Where Shaq is in a he's he's in an elevator. The door's open. Stevie Wonder says, "How's it going, Shaq?" And gets in. And the door's closed. And that's it.
That's very suspicious. Probably not enough for a podcast topic.
Enough to make me believe, though.
I'm a believer. But why would you pretend? It was all a gimmick.
All I know, that man can sing. That man
That man.
is a legend.
That man. That's all. Yeah. He can pretend to be blind all he wants. He is a great enough singer.
I love me some Stevie Wonder.
Okay, that's all I got.
Okay. I like that. I bet there's so much of that with. I know there's stuff with Elvis, like Elvis is still alive.
Still alive. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's. But that's kind of interesting. People want Elvis to be alive.
Yeah.
But people are like, hey, you know what? I don't think Paul's alive.
You guys, I'm just going to say
He's
it.
probably dead.
I'm pretty sure Paul McCartney's dead.
There's no way he's still alive.
I like that story just because none of the evidence really makes a whole lot of sense. Like, it's all like, oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But the fact that it blew up and got so, like, it was such a trend for people to be
Publicity
figuring
stunt, yeah.
and doing detective work, being pallbearers.
Which is very clever by the name.
Yeah, very good name.
Yeah. Big fan.
Yeah,
Big fan of conspiracy theories.
me too. We don't have enough of them.
No, yeah, not enough. If anyone out there has any good conspiracy theories, let me know. I'd love to talk to you.
All the ways. All the ways.
Always.
Okay, so if you're new to the episode, we do a punishment based off of how people vote. So you can vote with the link below in the episode notes, or you can vote over on our social media. That's at Learn Podcast on Instagram and other places you can think of as well, but mostly Instagram. But
Yeah.
you can go on there, vote for whoever you liked more, whatever topic, presentation, execution, doesn't even matter.
kind of up to you.
Depth of knowledge,
Or whoever you like better
Yeah.
that day.
just in general.
Sure.
Now, every episode there will be a different punishment. Josiah, what's this punishment?
Okay, this one. So, you may have heard of the milk challenge, where you are supposed to drink a gallon of milk in under an hour,
Yeah,
but apparently that is almost impossible.
which is why everyone just throws up.
Yes. So we we are going to do the milk challenge, except we're giving ourselves 2 hours.
Instead of right away.
So the loser has to drink 2 gallons.
1 gallon.
I take it back. Okay, goofball.
2 gallons. We're going to do 2 gallons in 2 hours.
Read your most recent text. Also, this is very sad to me, but my phone.
Stopped recording.
Oh, my most recent text was I texted myself my notes for this episode. That is funny.
Read every note.
Just already done. So the loser will have to drink 1 gallon of milk
Yep.
in 2 hours.
Uh-huh. Which seems just the worst.
You can have other things too, but
Probably a good idea not to.
keep your stomach open.
Yeah, just strategize a little bit.
Yeah.
Want to leave some room.
Keep some, you need some vacancy
Exactly.
in there.
So there you have it.
Room for renters.
Yeah. 30 seconds. Why do people vote for you?
People should vote for me because I talked about some fun sports that may or may not catch on,
Yeah.
and that you might get to play one day, and maybe
any
if you get to
luck.
play, you're on the front end of that, and you can kind of be the team captain. You can lead your team. You can say, "Hey, throw that torpedo into that goal," or
Yeah.
you can say, "Hey, don't fall off that pole
Exactly.
or the top of that human tower."
Good point.
And so now you're on the leading edge of the new sports, and you can be prepared for them.
Good. And you should vote for me because I talked about Paul McCartney a whole lot. And boy, is that guy cool. And quite possibly dead. and I left it open-ended so that the topic doesn't end here. When you stop the podcast at the end, you can continue to think and ponder, and perhaps even delve deep into some new musical genres that you've not listened to.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, listen to the Beatles a little bit.
Yeah,
Okay.
a staple of the genre, whatever genre.
The Beatles genre.
Oh man,
that.
this was a fun one.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go draw some more triangles.
Good. Right triangles specifically.
That was my favorite. Are you drawing a right triangle? Anyway. Okay. Yeah. I don't have anything else. You got anything?
I don't have anything else.
Okay. Thanks for listening, everybody. If you haven't reviewed our podcast, you can do that on the Apple Podcast app.
Yes.
Or you can join us on Patreon.
Yes.
We don't post anything there, but if you want to support the podcast and if you feel like it gives you value, then that makes us happy.
Yeah. For sure. For sure.
But yeah, no pressure.
Yep.
So yeah,
All
thanks
right.
for listening, everybody.
We're wrapping it up. Larry,
Wrapping it up.
play us out.